Emmanuel Levinas. We are trying to understand the philosophy of Emmanuel Levinas. And we said that the prime concern of Emmanuel Levinas is the question of ethics. So that is the prime concern. It is not the concern of ontology, which was the concern of Martin Heidegger. The concern of Levinas is ethics. And in his ethics, again, one of the important points in his ethics is the question of the other. So the primary concern in ethics, or the significant aspect in ethics we have to pay attention, is our relationship with the other. Now, when you talk about relationship with the other, it is talking about not other things, but other human persons. So what sort of relationship should we have with the other human persons? So here he is right from the beginning deploring or crying the present situation of our times. The present situation of our times is a situation where the other has been reduced to an object. Other is considered to be a sort of an object. Other is not respected well. Other is misused. Technology and all today's developments are not helping us to come closer to the other. On the other hand, they are taking us away from the other. There is no human relationship with the other in today's world. So that is what he was trying to tell. Then later on, I spoke to you about the famous book that he wrote. The title of the book is Totality and Infinity. Title of the book was Totality and Infinity. In this particular, as the title itself, I have tried to explain to you the other day, totality. So what is the meaning of totality? Totality is a way of relating with the other, where I consider the other as a sort of I try to understand the other fully. I try to capture the other. I try to say that I know the other. I try to, equate the one with the other. And therefore, there are certain aspects of totality: correlation, symmetry, reciprocity, equality, understanding, comprehension. These are the aspects of totality that we find. So, the modern world, we are in a relationship of totality. In the modern world, we are in a relationship of totality. Whereas infinity is a sort of a relationship where there is no inequality, there is a non-reciprocity, asymmetry, there is no equality, but it is beyond equality. So it's a relationship where I consider the other as the beyond. I look at the other as the thou, borrowing an expression from Martin Buber. I consider the other as someone beyond me. I cannot totally grasp the other. I cannot totally understand the other. I cannot totally get the totality of the other. So I suppose I am making things very clear. So this is one of the important books written by Emmanuel Levinas, Totality and Infinity. So he is pleading for a relationship of infinity, not a relationship of totality with the other. So relationship of totality with the other reduces the other to a sort of an object, where the respect for the other, the love for the other is not very profound. Whereas in the realm of the relation with infinity, the relationship is very profound. There is so much of deep relationship. There is so much of honor, respect for the other. Am I making things clear for you? Are you able to get me?
Yes, Father.
Yes, Father.
Yes, Father.
You are able to get me, okay. The next thing he is talking about, once again, when it comes to the relationship with the other, is the same and the other. The same and the other. The title is The Same, S-A-M-E, and the Other. The Same and the Other. So that's another title of his book, The Same and the Other. Again, here he is talking about one's relationship with the other. Again, once again, he is talking about our relationship with the other. What is the relation? The same and the other means what? The same means I am putting the other same as me. The same. So in other words, we say basically all human beings are same. Basically our needs are same. Basically our expectations are same. Basically our desires are same. That comes under the realm of or under the column of sameness. The same. Whereas the other, O with capital O, the other is a sort of a relationship where I consider the other so different from me. There is a surplus element in the other. There is an overflowing element in the other. What does it mean? There is a surplus element, there is an overflowing element in the other means what? In the other, there is something which is beyond me. In the other, there is something which is above me. In the other, there is something which surpasses me. In other words, there is a surplus element. So you see, so I cannot reduce the other as same as me. I cannot put everybody in the same mold. We have to put each person in different molds. And each person is so different from the other. Certainly, biologically speaking, we have a lot of common points. Biologically speaking, we have so many common points. That is understood. That goes without saying. But he is not talking about just the biological element, biological element, physical elements. Physical elements, certainly all of us feel hungry, we feel thirsty, we feel lonely, we feel joyful, we feel happy. There are common factors in all. So he knows about it. But here we are not limiting ourselves only to the biological, the physiological aspects of human life, but human life as such, individual as such, human person as such. There is so much of inequality in us. The word inequality has to be understood here in a positive sense. There is so much of inequality in us. What does it mean here? Inequality in us. There is so much of inequality in us. And here inequality is not negative, it's positive. What does it mean? Inequality means that I cannot bring the other as same as me. Equality means putting everybody as same as me. Whereas here inequality means the other is so different from me. Other surpasses me. Other is beyond me. Other can be raised to the level of an infinity. So that surplus element is in the other. Therefore, the other cannot be the same. Whereas in Martin Buber, that's why there is a difference between Martin Buber and Levinas. Martin Buber also speaks about the relationship with the other. I-it relationship and I-thou relationship. That was the distinction made by Martin Buber. You remember, I suppose you remember, all of you, the difference between I-it and I-thou relationship. In Martin Buber, even in I-thou relationship, what he is trying to tell us is that there is so much relation between me and the other. He puts everybody more or less in the same level. All of us are more or less same. Whereas in the question of the relationship with the other, Levinas goes beyond Martin Buber. That's why he's not exactly repeating what Martin Buber is saying. He's saying something which is different, and that is difference is very important. And in this difference, he's trying to underscore or underline, he's trying to tell us powerfully that there is so much difference between me and the other. So you see, various words are used, various expressions are used, but always to communicate that important aspect that there is difference between myself and the other, and every other person in front of me is sort of an infinity. It is not the same, it is the other. So you must understand the word the other. What does it mean to be the other? Is different. And here difference is enormous, important, and that enormous difference should help me to know and go and reach the other and respect the other, honor the other. So it is in this sense only he brings out the distinction, or he brings out his philosophy of the face of the other. Philosophy of the face of the other. My friend has written something good, nice about the face of the other. I had asked him, and he has written something good, but it is not very clear. You have to make it little more clear. That's why I said you can ask. Joel also can help you. Both of you can together work, and you can pass on to everybody the difference between the question of the face of the other. This is a very important development given by Emmanuel Levinas on the face of the other. So, what does the face of the other say? Everybody's face is different. Everybody's face is different. There are no two people alike 100%, including the identical twins. They might look alike, but they are different. People who know them very well, people who know them very personally will find that there is difference between the two. Every face is different. Every face is unique. So that's very revealing. That what does it say? It says that every person is different. Second, face is, whenever we look at a person, where do we look first? Whenever we look at a person, where do we look at first normally?
Face.
We look
Face.
at the face of the other.
Face.
We look at the face of the other. And face of the other tells us that that person has an identity. Face tells us that person has an identity. When we are not able to see the face of, now some of your face I cannot see, some of your faces, some of your faces I can see. Now when I cannot see the face of the other, it is not a very pleasant time to take a class. You understand? Sitting in the classroom, I can see the faces of everybody. Now many faces I cannot see. But seeing the face and not seeing the face is not one and the same. Seeing the face and not seeing the face is not one and the same. Which is better, seeing the face or not seeing the face?
Seeing the face.
Seeing the face
Seeing
is
the
better.
face.
Of course, some of you might be
Seeing the
thinking
face.
non-seeing is better now because I can do whatever I want. I have switched on the switch on, and therefore I don't know whether Robin is still there. So I can't see his face, for example. I can't see his face, whether he's there or not, I don't know. So therefore I can't see his face. So you might say, this is a beautiful, but seeing the face has a tremendous value. When you see the face of the other, you are with the other person. You are with the other person. When we say that, we phone up to somebody and the person tells, I can't make out who is this person talking to me. I can't make out who is that person talking to me. I can't have, I don't have his picture in the cell phone. Then I am getting so irritated, I don't know, I can't see the face. The moment I see the face of the other, I recognize and I say, wow, this is something beautiful. You see, the face of the other. Seeing, Robin, you have come there, thank God. Now I can see that you are alive and that you look good, that you are not suffering from corona. You are a strong man. So now I can make out that. So seeing the face of the other, that's very important. That's very important. If you don't see the face of the other, we do not know. Suppose you have a friend. Suppose you have a friend and you don't see the face of the other, the friendship has no much value. You have a friend. Dominic, are you there? Dominic, you have a friend, for example, and your friend's face is not seen. Then if you are not able to see the face every day, what do you do? What do you do? Robin, what do you do? If you are not able to see the face of the other every day, what do you do? What do you do? Normally, young boys, what do they do? Young girls, what do they do? Listen, they
Yes,
are not
father.
able. What do they do if they are not able to see the face every day?
The distance becomes wider,
Break
father.
up.
What becomes?
Break up.
Not they. They do some. They will see the face how. They'll keep a photo. They will
Ah,
take a picture.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Listen, you don't go to a breakdown now, you fellow. Listen is about to go into a breakdown. because he has not seen the face for so many days. So you want to see the face of the other. So the face of the other is always on the top. See, God has created us so that our face is on the top. It is not at the bottom. If the face was at the bottom, there would have been a tragedy. See, God has created our face on the top. Is there anybody whose face is at the bottom here?
Dominic was.
Dominic. Dominic.
Is there anybody here whose face is at the bottom? I don't think so.
Dominic.
Rajesh, what about you, man?
No, father.
Okay.
No, father.
Okay. So
It's on
top. So we can see the face first when we look at the person. So that shows that is the first thing that we see. What does it mean? It means that person's is seen by his face. The first thing that we are attracted to a person is the face. Therefore, it is on the top. It is in the front page. Secondly, Levinas calls the face of the other as the epiphany of the other. What is the meaning of the epiphany? Have you heard this word, epiphany?
appearance.
Yes, Father.
What is
Appearance.
epiphany? Epiphany is appearance or manifestation. It's a manifestation of the other. The face is the epiphany of the other. Epiphany of the other. It's the epiphany. It's the manifestation of the other. So other is manifested through his or her face. We are attracted or we are repulsed because of the face. People get attracted. When a young boy sees a girl, what does he see first? The face, and he is attracted. Similarly, vice versa. Or when you see a terrible face, when you are angry, when you are irritated, when you see your face, oh my God, you say, enough, you run for life. So face is a revelation. Face reveals so many things for us. The person's, the self core of the person is revealed through his or her face. So you see, therefore face is an important manifestation of the other. So the face of the other is a revelation of the other. It is an epiphany of the other. And as I said, every face is so different. Therefore, it only shows that face reveals the uniqueness of a person. The face reveals the surplus of a person. His face and my face, his face and her face is not one and the same. It is different. So different from each other. So different. So you'll have to find out more elements of the philosophy of the face of the other. More elements of the philosophy of the face of the other by Immanuel Levinas. It's a very interesting study. Very interesting study. It's a very interesting discovery. Very interesting discovery. So that is another important dimension of the relationship with the other. Another distinction that is made by Immanuel Levinas, is the distinction he says between the saying and the said. To say, saying, S-A-Y-I-N-G, saying, and the said, S-A-I-D. The distinction between the saying and the said. That also is an important distinction. I will give you certain ideas, and one more can find out more about the distinction between saying and the said in Levinas. Who will do that? Find out the distinction between the saying and the said. Any volunteers? The distinction between the saying and the said in Immanuel Levinas. Any volunteers are there? Any volunteers? I can see only a few faces, others I cannot see. Lipin, thank good. I am very happy that your hands are coming up now. Beautiful. So you should be like this always. So saying and said. Immanuel Levinas says, saying is something which is incomplete. I am saying. Said is something which is complete. It is said and done. It is said already. Saying is incomplete. because I am just saying it. It's not over. Whereas said, it is complete, it is over. Another is saying, there are a lot of possibilities for me. When I say saying, there are various possibilities. There are various possibilities. When I say said, there are no possibilities. It's finished. Said is already finished. Suppose I say that there's a Robin is a good man. It is said, which I doubt anyway. I'm not sure. So it is said that I have to ask his mother now whether he's a good man. So said. Whereas if I am saying Robin, you do not know what I am going to say. There are various possibilities that I am going to say. Robin is a good man. Robin is just. Robin is regular working. That is one of the possibilities. Otherwise, Robin is lazy fellow. He is now quarantined. He sleeps 24 hours and so on and so forth.
4 or 3 hours.
What is that?
Nothing.
So you see, there are various possibilities. So he says, he uses this expression to express his philosophy. He says, saying is more ethical. Saying goes into the dimension of ethics, whereas said goes into the dimension of ontology. Said goes to the dimension of ontology. In a couple of minutes, there will be a disconnection, but we come back. We come back. We come back.
Yes, Father.
Yes, Father, surely. Surely we'll come back, Father.
Okay. In a couple of minutes, yes. So, for a couple of minutes, it may disconnect. Don't run away, thinking that Father has gone for tea and all that. I have not gone for tea. So,
We'll come back, Father. We'll come.
So, said is a fixed reality. Said is a fixed reality. Whereas saying is non-fixed. So he says, in the saying, there is a vast possibility. It is a wide horizon open. Open. It's an open horizon. Open for varieties of things. Whereas said is limited. It is restricted. It has no possibilities for change. So what does it mean? Why he is talking this language? Because he is taking these expressions from linguistics. He is also using linguistic analysis. Why is taking all these expressions? Because he said, in the saying, there is scope for ethics. Ethics is in the realm of saying. So you are not giving prejudgments about the other. You are not giving a priori statements of the other. You are not making other as a victim of your prejudices. No, you are keeping the other in an open world. You are keeping the other in an open world. You are giving possibilities for the other. You are giving varieties of possibilities to the other. We are giving varieties of possibilities of relationship with the other. You are giving the possibility of a new relationship. There is an openness to the other. There is an openness. So that is why he is saying that in the saying, said, there is no possibility of openness. In the saying, there is nothing called fixed. So in the saying, there is nothing called fixed. In the saying, nothing can be said propositionally. That it cannot be put in words. Everything cannot be put in words. In the saying, it says, everything cannot be put in words. Strictly, saying becomes a sort of a non-sense, meaning to say, there is no fixed sense.